Cooperate. Growing up, I would hear that phrase a lot from my parents. Cooperate. Like, please, son, work with us. Like, we can really help you. Cooperate. And I just know that your father says a very similar thing to you, and he definitely says it to me. Son, cooperate with me. God is for you, not against you. He wants you to work with him, not fighting him on these things. And this is what verse 15 is getting at. As has just been said today, say it with me, if you hear his voice, how do we cooperate with God? Well, a lot of ways. One of the main ways we cooperate with God is by hearing his voice and obeying. What are you hearing God say, and what are you doing about it? That is an amazing discipleship question. I hope you ask it to your friends, to your family, to your kids, to anybody. What are you hearing God say right now in your life? And what are you doing about it? And this is why we see Jesus in his teachings over and over use this phrase, he who has ears to hear, let him hear. He doesn't say, he who has eyes to see, let him see. And I'm not against signs. Signs can be really helpful, but I am all about ears. The reason is because we're led by Jesus, and Jesus himself, he said that he's a shepherd. We spent 7 weeks on Psalm 23 last spring, understanding that Jesus really is our good shepherd. And how do shepherds lead? Answer their voice. And so the role of a sheep is to be a people of the ears and not just the eyes, that we would tune our ears to the voice of God. This is how we cooperate with him. He promises to guide us along right paths, and he does that with his voice. Hear his voice, cooperate with God. How do we do this? So many ways. One of the ways is by receiving communion. And on your way in today, you guys were handed communion. And I want to encourage you to take this out and just hold on to it here for a couple minutes. We'll receive this together in just a little bit. But if you're a follower of Jesus, communion is for you. If you're exploring Christianity, I am so thankful that you're here. You're in the right place. Just sit this part out right now, all right? You can watch us receive communion, but keep listening in because I want to talk to you about something that I think is going to be really helpful. But if you're ready to receive communion today, we're going to do this. So just hold on to it. If you need some communion, you can slip your hand up. We have a team of folks handing out communion right now. It's just $10 a cup, all right? It's just $10 a cup. It's like at a Cubs game, you can just pass the money down the aisle. It'll get to you. No, it's free. It's free. Paid in full. Great. So we're going to receive communion. Soft hearts. Soft hearts to God and to one another. Cooperating with God. And so, like I do, I go on these walks with Jesus, and it's how I pray, and I just working a ton on hearing his voice. And so I was praying through the sermon and asking him, like anything else you want me to say, and praying for you guys and thinking about this moment. And God spoke to me in a way that he has spoken to me before, but he began to talk to me about cooperating with him like how my dog cooperates with me. And so this is my dog, Jack, and there was a time here at Mission where I would talk about Jack every sermon, like every week. And Tommy's like, John, like, this is too much. Like, it needs to be like once every 3 years. And so it's been like 3 years since I've talked to you about Jack. But it's kind of neat. Like, God's like, no, this is how I want you to think about this. And so, I'm with Jack all the time. We're inseparable. And I bought Jack to obviously be a friend, but he's a hunting dog, and I love to hunt. I hunt a lot of different things, and if that offends you, like I am sorry, and you can just send a complaint to Tommy at wearemission.com. He would love to respond to that. But I do love to hunt, and so I got Jack, and he's an incredible duck hunting dog, but also an upland hunting dog, and so pheasants. And so we hunt pheasants together, and Jack was literally made to do this, and there's just something about seeing anyone or a dog like do what they were born to do. It's just amazing. And yet, what God was talking to me about, as I was thinking about this, is, hey, remember when Jack was in the first couple years of his life, and you were just kind of training him how to do all this stuff. And when Jack was 1 and 2 years old, and we'd go out and we were working a field together, Jack would do what a lot of immature young dogs do. They would range. And Jack would range. It's this word in upland hunting of when your dog is way too far from you. And that's just not a good thing, because when Jack would range, he was so excited, right? Like no one loves it more than him. And he's out running around and he starts blowing up the field, and pheasants are flying everywhere, but they're too far for me to get a shot. And it's just not good. I start screaming at him. You can ask Tommy. I end up losing my voice and I get really mad. Then I got to pray and confess my sin. It's just a bad situation. It's just terrible because Jack is ranging. And the biggest problem with that is he's out of range of my voice. I control Jack with my voice. You should see it. It's a really amazing thing. I have all these different voice commands and I say it, and man, he responds. But if he's out of range of my voice, he can't hear my voice. And then I've been thinking about the past couple years as he's been maturing. He's working the field totally differently. He loves it just as much, but he's now staying close because he's maturing. And God's like, this is what I'm getting at, John. Is there's going to be a lot of people this weekend that are saying, I'm not hearing God speak. I can't hear his voice. Might it be because of a range issue? As the old hymn says, prone to wander. Lord, I need thee. Prone to leave the God I love. And if you're anything like me, I'm prone as well to live my life out of range of the voice of God. Yet God is saying, and he says this in the book of James chapter 4, draw near, and I'll draw near to you. Come close, and I'll come close to you. Whether you've been ranging from God for a few days or for a month or 10 years, right now is an opportunity for you to come in close, to hear him speak.